What's going on? Welcome back to the How to Attract Customers channel. Today, I'm joined again with my dear friend, Trevor W. Goodchild. He is a magician when it comes to AI, anything Facebook techie related. Trevor, welcome back to the show.
Good to be back. Glad
Yeah,
to discuss all things tech, AI, SEO, and other related topics. This is important right now as the world changes and gets swallowed up by AI. How will businesses continue to rank and stay on top?
yeah, and that's something that I think businesses aren't even looking at right now is like in the next 6 months, the biggest shift in marketing is going to happen. And it's how people search for products, services, and think about it yourself as a customer. For those of you who are listening, nowadays, when you go search for something, do you go to Google now or do you go to ChatGPT? Those are the big things that people are indirectly doing that they don't even realize they're doing, right? So, yeah, with that being said, today we're going to be going over the three shifts in marketing that are going to be happening in the next 12 months. So, Trevor, what do you feel like is going to be the first biggest shift with AI in marketing?
Well, I think really this reminds me of The Matrix, and it's not where Neo dodges bullets or flies or does the crazy stuff. It's a quieter scene where Neo asks Morpheus, "Why do my eyes hurt?" And Morpheus tells Neo, "Because you've never used them before." And that line wasn't about sight, but about perception. I feel like there's a similar divide bridging between those doing traditional SEO and those doing AIO or AI overview or AI generative search ranked, whatever you want to call it. There's GEO, right? As long as it's not called Geico, I think we're good.
Yeah.
But, the first shift that I would say happening in the next 12 months when it comes to the way search is changing, the way businesses are being found online, is that search is becoming answer driven, not just link driven, right? We're used to seeing those 10 hyperlinks on the front page of Google when we Google a short term or long tail phrase. But now AI overview is killing a lot of people's SEO client acquisition funnels because it's a clickless world. They're not clicking on a website to already see the information listed in those overviews. And I think that is one of the biggest challenges is how do you continue to stay visible in a clickless world?
Ooh, that's pretty impactful. So, moving into like going from link driven answers to which is click to more of an answer driven search. What does that look like? Like how it's like to me, I'm looking for answers nowadays, not looking for really research. How do you think that's going to affect the way people market themselves in their business?
Well, I think there's going to be people that continue trying to do the same thing and expecting different results, the definition of insanity. And then there's going to be the people that understand exactly what it means to have an answer driven website that you're trying to rank. What this means is instead of filling your pages with so much fluff that you could bury the answer past the fold or on even on the second or third page, right? You're going to see people having to condense answers up front to get cited in LLMs. That means don't bury the lead. You want to start with information up front at the start of your blog or your articles so that ChatGPT can see right away it's not fluff and it's not filler. One of my favorite things is when I'm Googling something that seems common sense, like let me Google, this F fighter jet because I want to learn about airplanes. And then what does the first article say when I click on it? What is an airplane? Let's explain wings, windows, engines. No, just give me the answer. So that stuff's going away. As frustrating as that is, because they're just filling space to make you stay on the page longer to reduce the bounce rate before they reveal the answer. Well, AI is changing that. We can't have this fluff BS long intros that we all hate grading our teeth. Just give me the answer. Well, ChatGPT, Claude, Grok, all these other LLMs, they're making that requirement. We can't do the fluff pieces. We want to start with the FAQs or the TLDRs up front at the beginning of our articles to start getting a chance to get those cited inside ChatGPT or other LLM AIs.
So you're saying AI is becoming a bullshit detector.
Well, not necessarily, because AI Overview has famously cited rocks as being part of your healthy, everyday, nutritious yet savory meal because it's citing Reddit as a source for the AI overview.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
what you're talking about? In answers inside an LLM versus Google's AI overview are two different things as well. So
Yep. So for those listeners out there that don't know, like, what is Trevor and Tony talking about? What is an LLM?
well, I would say LLM is the end of humanity. No, LLMs are limited language models, chatbot focused AIs. We're using predictive analysis. They're not actually artificial intelligence. They have no self awareness of what they're saying. Try to get ChatGPT in the same thread to recall what you said yesterday. It will not understand accurately what you said because it doesn't really have memory. Now, with ChatGPT 5, they're trying to say that they have all this memory. Yeah, so it can hallucinate an unrelated topic from another thread into the one you're talking about. Yeah, it has memory. But basically, MiniChat, they've had that for years. And that's just a chat bot that has decision trees that based on answers will lead your customer down a specific path. What are the promos going on? What's on sale? What about my order? Here's the number, right? These have been going on for a while, but not at the limited language model level where you have the entire internet at access for your fingertips when you're typing in a question into an AI powered chatbot. What AI overviews are changing and why that's hurting SEO is, let's say your page, you're a dentist and you're on the front page of Google when someone is Googling, what's the difference between Invisalign and braces? All right. Well, instead of you appearing in the top 10 results, what people are doing is they're skipping over even clicking on links because they're seeing this little summary at the top of the page that Google is providing through their AI that just will summarize the answer to that question, right? Same thing for a plumber, right? It's like, how do you rank in those worlds? So part of how you want to start ranking is to basically start connecting all of your pieces of content together under verified profiles so that all of your online brand, your LinkedIn, your Quora, your Substack, your YouTube, right? You're interlinking all these together. It's crazy. I've worked with big brands and they don't even link their brands together. Their YouTube channel will have no link to their website or something, or their Instagram or their Facebook will not be linked on their YouTube about, right? Interlinking all these together is part of how AI recognizes you as a trustworthy source to cite from.
Gotcha, gotcha. Okay. So how should companies structure their content so that AI knows like how Google's searching for them, how Google chooses them, how Google's going to rank them?
Well, I think a good way to start off everything, I would say, look at how Neil Patel structures his articles. It's actually really informative. Part of how I started ranking in SEO was I started studying Neil Patel. I got trained by someone who's at his level of expertise with SEO. So I got one-on-one training. But part of what my journey was, I studied how he creates content. Every Neil Patel article on his blog that you read, what does he have? He starts with like 1 to 2 paragraphs, then he immediately has a key points insert that then bullet points what he's going to cover in that article. Not only is this great for people who are skimmers, which is like most people online these days, they're not reading long chunks of text, they're just skimming, especially if you're in the marketing or business world. You want those points right away, right? Well, he gives those to you. Well, he inadvertently, his style also works well with ChatGPT because ChatGPT looking for answers up front, not a bunch of fluff or filler. They can immediately see, oh, this is what this article is about. This is the authority this person brings to it. These are the points he's actually making inside the article that, again, answer the query most successfully. How do people rank on the first page of Google? It's not through keyword stuffing. It's not through scammy backlinks, though some people do. It's mainly through answering the question more accurately than anybody else has answered it. Well, if ChatGPT is able to see that you are answering that question, not just filler, fluff, buzz, what buzzword here, buzzword there, but you're actually answering that, that will help it start to cite you with that. So I would say one of the first steps is to do a similar style. What I do with my blogs at Goodchild.ai, same as NVIDIA and other top companies that focus on AI, we're focusing on human first AI adoption. But just like I do with my blogs on Goodchild.ai, oftentimes from each H2 header, I will follow it up with a little TLDR, one-line sentence about what this section is about. It's making your content in bite-sized and summarizable pieces that make it easy to digest. And then, of course, cross-linking with your Substack, YouTube, LinkedIn, Quora, Reddit, everything else that your brand has a presence on. to allow ChatGPT to say, oh, wow, this one brand has talked about this topic on YouTube and on LinkedIn and on answering Reddit posts and on, like, you get all this uh, exterior sources of basically proof that you are what you say you are, and you're more likely to get cited by a ChatGPT.
Nice, nice, nice. So let's switch gears a little bit and talk about branding authority. What signals outweigh keywords? Like what kind of signals are you talking about? How can you strengthen the brand of your keywords and things like that to like rank on, ChatGPT?
Well, I don't know if I can reveal all the secrets of AIO today, but since this won't be pay gated, we'll reveal some of these juicy jewels. That's the name of my new hip hop group, Juicy Jewels. Tune in today. No, it's not, though that sounds like a good name. Juicy Jewel.
Horrible. That sounds like a horrible name, Juicy Jewels. Okay. And coming up on the stage, we have Juicy Jewels.
Listen, if I'm lying, I'm dying. Juicy jewels, but no blood diamonds. But yeah, no, maybe not. Maybe I'll have to wait to launch the Juicy Jewels
So,
brand.
are you working with are you playing in an adult entertainment club or are you at like a regular nightclub?
Juicy Jewels does sound more like a stripper name than a hip hop name. I will admit.
Yep.
It
Yep.
sounds like a career of a faded aging stripper starlet who has now discovered the purpose of her life beyond the pole.
Which
Juicy
is
Jewels, the
ChatGPT.
new Netflix biopic debuting tomorrow. That sounds scarily too realistic to be.
And now she's featured on the world famous Trevor Goodchild show.
Goodchild.ai. Here presenting
Show.
Juicy Jewels. You know what's sad? If you go into SEO tools and you look at what are the top ranking keywords in AI, you know what's sad about that is porn dominates over half of the ranking keywords for AI. Like it's like AI undresser or stuff like that. Like there's so many things
Yeah.
like that. When I was looking at doing background SEO research for what my AI blog, Goodchild.ai, can rank for, I had to go down the rabbit hole, and it's crazy that so many porn terms are outranked. I've never seen this in any other industry, that with AI, the keywords for porn outnumber the ones for business, which is just wild.
I hate
But
to say it doesn't really shock me. Like there's so many weird people out here. So
yeah, so basically, when you say brand authority outweighs keywords, so as far as brand authority outweighing keywords, it comes down to how many external sources outside of your internal linking of your digital online entity that represents your brand are there. So not only are you going to interlink between other places you've talked about the same topic from these other cross-referenced websites, from your Substack to your LinkedIn to your blog or your YouTube and all that good stuff, you also want to use structured data schema markups to make sure that ChatGPT and other LLMs understand exactly what you're talking about. And so there's certain fields you can use there. But basically, you want to make sure that your identity is consistent everywhere. The same tagline, the same mission statement, the same about, who are the customers you serve, what is your unique selling mechanism, right? Make sure you have consistency of your brand across all sites. And the more times AI sees your name in the field, the more likely there are to rank you. So getting interviewed on podcasts, getting interviewed on YouTube, getting interviewed in different video syndications, and linking this back to your main core hub content will also strengthen AI's ability to want to preference you as a brand to rank above others.
gotcha. So when it comes to though, like people in the beginning of our episode, we talked about, ranking on Google or not ranking on Google, ranking on ChatGPT, ranking on the AI platforms. Cliff Notes version, simplest explanation. How do I, as a company, as a Fortune 500 company, how would I want to quickly focus on how to rank on AI? Because right now, I feel like most companies are not focused on that. And I'm not asking for the juice. If you go to Goodchild.ai, you could reach out to him directly and get the exact juice, okay? Because he helps with this. If you are like, can you just pay me? Can I just pay somebody to get me ranking? Trevor is the man, Okay. And I don't talk about promote people's services on my podcast, on my episodes too much, but Trevor is the man for that. So definitely go out to him. But for just so people can kind of understand and grasp, okay, I need to focus on ranking on AI. Why? Because the world is learning is going into ChatGPT as a search engine almost. You know, it's an answer engine now. Okay. So just like the other day, I was like, what should I pay for a fence? I'm looking at getting a fence on my house. How much should I pay? It gave me it gave me all the responses. And I really realized there's definitely some crooked people in the fencing industry. Like there's some crooked people. I also asked it, what should I look out for in a fence? It told me. And then based on everything I'm looking out for in a fence, who would be the best company I should go with? And guess what? That's the company I went with. So how could I be the fence company that I went with? How could I be that person?
Well, it comes down to consistency. I think the biggest like SEO hack I can teach anybody really comes from a little book called The Ultimate Sales Machine by Chuck Shepherd, where Chuck Shepherd talked about, and I actually met his daughter Amanda at a business conference, which led me to buy the book. And he talks about in chapter 4 the value of edutainment, the value of educating people about a topic so that after you've taught them something, first they have a feeling of reciprocity because they've learned something from you. And then two, you become a brand authority. You're an authority in their eyes because they've learned from you. Really, that's kind of at the heart of all this AIO stuff and making sure that you start ranking LLMs. How much valuable content can you consistently produce that AI and human beings see as being more valuable than your competitors? Lead with value-based content up front. Not only will that help you rank in LLMs, but it'll also help you engender a longer CTV, a longer lifespan for customer loyalty of coming back, because if they learn something good from you and it's not fluff, it's not filler, it's not BS, they're more likely to come back and seek more ways that your brand can help them solve the pain points that your product or service does. So that really is one of the secret hacks, and how you format. So it's kind of like you want to write for people but format for machines. So while you still do want to be value based upfront edutainment style, which would help with the AI slop and the crap, we see everywhere of these half-assed attempts at trying to write with ChatGPT for all of your content, not editing it, not fact-checking it, publishing it on your website, having other businesses be like, wow, we can't take you seriously because this is obviously ChatGPT, emoticonned out, not factually correct, not edited at all, right? So do your due diligence. Don't use AI to replace good content, but to augment it, which means you want to basically stop chasing, massive content over quality, right? You want to pick depth over volume. So I would probably suggest pick 3 to 5 core topics you want your business to be known for and really go deep on that, right? What I did for one of my brands, which I've worked at for the past 10 years until pivoting into AI and into other topics that I'm working on, was how to help people who have been restricted on Facebook, because I've worked at Apple, Microsoft, and Facebook. And so one of the things that I've done is I've become the go-to authority by writing actually helpful articles that are in-depth, educational, structured through all the best practices for traditional SEO. But in addition to that, it really gave me a lot more resonance with my target audience, because I wasn't just doing one weird trick to cure belly fat, right? Not clickbait headlines, but actual content people can grow and learn from to inspire reciprocity, to inspire brand authority, and to inspire LLMs to start linking me in the results. I would say also that consistency factor. I will reiterate this again. Make sure you have the same exact branding, I would say, for your logo, your statement, for how it appears on every one of your websites. Make sure every one of your sites is linked together. It's crazy. I've actually gotten business through Pinterest. It's not my main platform. I'm not in the demographic that I think Pinterest serves, but by cross-linking between Pinterest and Twitter and LinkedIn and Substack and Quora and maintaining that brand consistency, people know exactly who I am, what I do, and who I serve, no matter what site they're on. LLMs love that stuff, because if they're pulling from this rando Pinterest image, and they're pulling from this rando short Twitter post, and they're pulling from this rando YouTube video, when they keep seeing the same brand, the same message, the same pain points being solved, they're gonna rank that stuff, right? And of course, you want to collect proof that you are trusted. This is the Google My Business profile. Certain architecture of classic SEO will always be useful and always be helpful, regardless of whether or not you're directly trying to rank in ChatGPT or Grok or Claude or any of the other LLMs. The fact is that by showing other people through testimonials, through podcast interviews, through at basically other people who have influence, nano influencers, micro influencers, big influencers, other business leaders, other similar businesses, people that are well established that already have a presence online. When it's kind of like influencer marketing, right? A lot of this comes down to influencer marketing, and people don't realize the connection. Why did the public kind of magnetically draw to Kim Kardashian? Why did they draw to influencer marketing in general? It was because they're tired, they're burnt out, they have ad fatigue, the same lost, lonely, hurt, broke, pregnant, alone, right? Click, learn more. We'll solve all your problems. Like they're tired of being socially engineered for their pain points to be expanded upon just to want to buy something. So they associate more with a brand like an influencer that matches their values, and they see those signals and they don't have to think about it like, oh, she's like me, he's like me, I want to go with that. So basically, that value that influencers have is they're trusted by their audiences. A smaller audience of more actively engaged followers of let's say a micro influencer will actually produce more sales than a larger in the millions audience of an influencer whose audience is disengaged. So by collecting this proof across the board from different sources of interviews, basically guest posts, YouTube, whatever it is, and you make this all part of your central hub online for your brand, that's another way of AI saying, I'm going to trust this brand because other people who also have influence, who also have followers, trust them as well. It's kind of a spinoff of influencer marketing. And then I would say the last piece would be make sure that you're using a structured schema and same as in your schema stuff. That can get a little technical, so I'm not going to go super deep into that. But basically, if you add the same schema markup to your website, to your YouTube, to your Substack, even plugins can handle this if you're not super technical. That will help. If you do all 5 things consistently, it will definitely move you closer towards getting your brand listed and ranked in LLMs.
Love that. Love that. Well, Trevor, you just dropped some gems, bro. You just dropped some gems.
Juicy.
Juicy Jewels coming to stage. Stage left.
You set yourself up for that one.
So, but I appreciate you being on the podcast today. Trevor, if you all are looking, if you are a business, big or small, looking to get ranked high on ChatGPT, all the AI search engines, you're definitely going to want to reach out to Trevor. He's a wealth of knowledge. He is here. Trevor, how can they find you?
Well, my email is trevor@trevorwgoodchild.com. You can also check out my brand new and best-selling book, ChatGPT AI Secrets, on Amazon. You can check out my website, Goodchild.ai, for tips on ranking in AIO, as well as other business topics related to tech, startups, and personal development. I've gone from living in a cardboard box as a teenager to graduating with 2 degrees from the University of Texas. I've gone from being in a wheelchair in 1998, told I'd never walk again, to practicing Relson Gracie Jiu-Jitsu and winning knife fights with randos that attacked me on the bus on my way to finals for University of Texas. I've had an incredible journey, and I write about basically the intersection between personal development, tech, startups, and AI on my Substack, which is pretty easy to find for Trevor W. Goodchild.
Awesome. Well, thank you all so much. Catch us on the next one. I'm sure Trevor will be joining us again because I have so many more questions. But Trevor, thank you for your time today.
Thanks for having me.